Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Rena Walsinger, the Technical Director at Eduvators. Excited to bring you What's New in AI. This week, Adobe is holding their annual convention, Adobe Max. At this convention, a lot of new great features are being announced. Two in particular we're going to go over today. The first one, which I'm really excited about, is generative video in Adobe Firefly, where you can do text prompts and create incredible video. It will be rolling out during the last quarter here of 2024. The second thing I want to go over is templates, where you can make almost anything you can dream up using the template feature in Adobe Express. So let's take a look at these useful features. Okay, so let's take a look at Adobe Firefly. You can see the latest in the application's generative fill, which I actually use a lot, where maybe I have a square image and I need to make it rectangle for maybe a YouTube or some kind of social media, but adding extra detail around the original picture. So I use that a lot. Text to image, again, an everyday application where you can kind of make whatever you want in whatever style that you choose. Generative extend, this is a new thing for Premiere Pro where you can extend video. So you can extend that clip and you can describe how you want to extend it. We're not going to go over that today, but we are going to look at generative video. So you can join the waitlist. It's going to be rolling out in the next probably month or so. So let's take a look at generative video. So one thing about generative video is so many applications are adding this, but Adobe's like kind of always been one of the biggest players in video. So it's exciting to see them add it, and it does have a lot of features for educators that make it more accessible, and it has kind of guardrails so that we get content that we can use in education, which is really great. So it says using text prompts quickly transform ideas into stunning video clips for pitching ideas. B-roll, which is extra footage beside what's on your main timeline, visual effects, and much more. So you can start with a photo and quickly get to a video, which is how most of these work. So you can see an example here, generated video, cinematic close-up, and detailed portrait of a dog, and it generated that video. There's some other examples. This is kind of fun one with claymation with different animals, and some kind of crazy one with text with that says tiger with kind of a tiger fur there. B-roll is so things that are happening while there's talking going on. So maybe you're talking about the desert, or maybe this is a scene from like Dune, and then your B-roll would be something generated like this. I think this is going to be a big change in the movie industry in general, especially independent films where maybe you can't go out to the desert and fly around in a helicopter and get the shot, or with a drone. And so you can generate it this way. So definitely AI video generation and B-roll is probably going to be huge, as well as sound effects as well. Now here's kind of a different idea, this little example of adding a little extra to a scene. So you can do this right now with adding layers to your timeline. So you might have a B-roll with this, but then you got to worry about where this is happening. And you can see in this video, it's in front and behind the person that's doing the dancing. So in this case, the prompt is generate atmospheric elements like smoke or lens flare or water to a scene, whether on a black or green screen overlay. It's simple to blend. So the prompt probably here is like add fire around the dancer and in front and behind. So it happens there, which is pretty incredible. So again, very hard to do this in After Effects or in Post, but very easy to do with a prompt. This is one of my favorite parts as an educator, designed to be commercially safe. So it says it's designed to be safe, trained only on content where Adobe has permission, such as Adobe stock and public domain content where copyright has expired, never on Adobe users' content. So I love that because that's one of the things, especially at Edubators, we recommend, whether it's text, sound, video, whatever, that it's something that we can use in education. And so it's nice that Adobe is education friendly and we can get content that we can rely on, that we can use in the classroom. So in order to generate the videos, you have to sign up for the waitlist and then just open Firefly and then go ahead and put in your text prompt. And you can have a prompt, and then also you can, I'm sure, put a starting. Most of these apps have a starting photo, so you might generate a photo in Firefly, put that in, an image and maybe an ending image, and then it'll generate the video, what happens in between with your description. So you generate your video and then you can refine it. So that's what generated video looks like so far. So some of the things in the help area that are really good, it tells you about prompt length, language style, descriptors, which are really important. So this is where knowledge of video helps a lot because, and this is why if you're an educator, we still teach the same things, but AI is a new tool that we can use to get some of these shots, especially B-roll. So all of these descriptors are things that we would teach, for example, in a film class or a post class. So cinematography, like the depth of field, shot on the film, cinematic, wide close-ups, for example, establishing shots, the lighting terms, color grading, the mood, and camera movements. So camera movements are super important. Are you panning left or right, up and down, dolly in and out? So those are all things. And that makes me really happy as an educator because we know that if you're just going to create prompts and don't understand these descriptors, the people who do understand how to make film are going to definitely make better content, even with AI tools. Okay, some more tips from Adobe that are really great, and this kind of applies to anytime you're creating video anyways. The shot type description, what's the camera perspective, how it's moving, the character description, who's the character, what do they look like, what are they wearing, the action, what's the character doing in a scene. So here's a little example. A polar bear is walking softly but confidently towards a hole it has previously opened in the ice to hunt beneath the surface of the ice. The location, where is it? What's the weather? What's the terrain? And the aesthetic, what type of shot is it? Is it ambient? What's the depth of field? For example, they have one there, cinematic 35 millimeter film, highly detailed, shallow depth of field bokeh. So again, this requires some knowledge about making film, which I love because that's what we teach. And again, this is just another tool for creating shots in a video. So it's not the only tool, but it is a new tool that's pretty important. All of the help in Adobe are mainly, if you read through this, you'll see what it's basically following what we've always taught, where you're making a storyboard, you're describing the shots, you're setting up the shots, and now you still have to do this using AI because you have to describe all those things that you'd be doing in real life and then create that image. So here's some of the other styles. There's cinematic style, realistic, animated, and artistic. These are really important to understand, and using these terms in your prompts. Define the actions clearly, use descriptive adjectives, provide context or background story, so that'll kind of give it some information so it understands what you're generating, and use camera angles and movements. I love this part, so let's just go into close-up. It describes in detail what that is and how to use it in a prompt. Wide shot, pan, zoom, and track, shot from above, shot from below. So these are all really helpful. Also, you can include the time of day and the weather, and then using iterative prompting. So let's go over iterative prompting. They have this great example here of a robot. So the first prompt is full scene, eye level, a wide shot, a giant mech in the street, high quality, high detail. So you kind of see it's going through. It's kind of flat gray with some blue on it, and you see kind of cars going by and some kind of plain buildings. So the second iteration is full scene, so more in the scene, eye level, so now it tells you where the camera's shooting, a wide shot, so we know we're going to see giant mech, yellow and orange armor in desolate streets, so that's going to change. There's not going to be so many cars running through like we saw in the other one, wires, because it's in the future, LED, cybernetic parts, high quality, high details. So totally, you still see the blue, but now it looks way better. You see stuff flying around because it's in the future. Very different than the first shot. You see kind of lasers, lights there. There's kind of a car flying on the right. The third iteration, full scene, so now we're even seeing more. Eye level again, a wide shot, giant black and yellow mech. So now we see kind of a more sci-fi looking robot. Accents of orange, neon LEDs. That's a very important part of this prompt. Marching, firing lasers. So now there's lasers involved. The street of a destroyed city, rubbles, fire, decayed buildings, desolate, ominous, high quality, great details. You can see the images there. It looks very different. Of course, you're not going to see just cars running through like in the first clip. Now we're seeing kind of buildings that are just destroyed. It's fire, firing a laser, and those LED lights. And here's this image. It's very different. Now it looks like a sci-fi scene in a dystopian world. Let's see that again. This is actually my favorite iteration that I think is great. And then the last iteration is a cinematic action scene of group of giant mechs invading the city. They are menacing. Giant black and yellow mechs, yellow and orange matte armor, so that's a different paint schema. There's no lasers, there's no kind of LED. Dystopian future, destroyed city, rubble fires, decayed buildings, desolate, ominous, high quality, high details, volumetric lighting. So lit from all over the place, but it's going to be more like a group of robots destroying the city, but they're not shooting lasers and they're not LED. So that is a different shot. So again, it just depends what you're shooting. So those iterations are really important. You can see the difference in the prompts and how they work. So you can, when you don't like something or you have an idea, you can iterate and then probably get to what you want. So I'm really excited about Adobe's video generation and what that's going to do to our industry. I think in education, it's going to be a great tool to even explain these types of shots and do those right in class, and even practice before you go out with a crew and do that for real, or generating B-roll, special effects, post-production. So a lot of possibilities there. Okay, so let's take a look at Adobe Express and templates. I've been using Canva, which is another app that is AI integrated that's been really fun and easy to use. It's aimed at educators, as is Adobe. So this looks pretty similar, and I'm really excited about it. So let's take a look. You can just do File, New, start a new file, and then we're going to make today a YouTube thumbnail, something that I do all the time. You can do anything that you want. You can make a flyer, something for Instagram, just a video, almost anything. So I usually start with the templates, so you can just see there's a lot of stuff. There's photos, videos, but I'm going to start with maybe, I already had some here, AI technology. So see a bunch of images here. So you might want to maybe ask for a light background or a dark background or whatever you want. So I kind of like this one at the very top. I'll just click it one time and there it is. There's a little icon right there, and that means it was getting into my project, and now it's there. Now I can add text and I can add elements, almost whatever I want. So let's start with text. Generate text effects. So let's do something fun. So it has different styles here. Some flowers. Here's this, that kind of matches the theme. So I'll put AI in education. So it's going to put that in. It's generating that crazy pattern there. So maybe I'll put it there, put it in the bottom of my project. And this should give me a centering line, which it does right there. Beautiful. Okay. So that's pretty neat. So let's look at elements. I love elements. There's all kinds of things, anything you can imagine. So I'm going to put, I'll just put AI in education. See what kind of things it comes up with. So we've got books, robots. So anything you see, if you click it one time, it will go into your project. Then you can move it and resize it. So resizing is just moving these dots around. If you wanted to crop it, you can do that as well. So let's do another one. I just love this because it makes creating things as an educator so easy. This time we're just going to make, let's do a video. Okay, sure. Let's do a very regular video, 1920 by 1080. Okay, so we have some information here, audio, video. We're going to have text above there, and you can add scenes to that. We can search for seasons. Let's just see what it comes up with for fun. Okay, so here's some seasonal things. Beautiful. Let's do this one. Okay, so let's see what we got. Here's the play button. So we have dandelions in the breeze right there. Okay, let's add some text in there. So I'm just click the text box, highlight the whole thing. I'm going to look for colors. Let's go ahead and add an element, which is a shape, It sent it backwards. Now I can add, you can see you can record a voice over, I can upload audio from my device, or I can take something. A little quick video. If I wanted another scene, I just keep adding to it. And the music will match the length of the scene. Unless the music's not long enough, then you can copy it and so forth. Okay, so one of the things here, starting a new file, I'm going to scroll all the way down to, there's marketing, but there's education. So let's look at these. There's a lot of choices for educators, rubrics, resumes, worksheets, posters, newsletters. That's pretty awesome. Let's look at rubric. I'd like to see what that looks like. Rubric template. See what we get here. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so that is great. Let's just click one. Bam, we got a rubric. So, of course, you can change anything in these. There's lots of choices. So it really makes it easy, but I love the education focus of this. It's fantastic. Another fun one that I've never tried is class schedule. So I just did file new, start a new file, education, class schedule, and I got this template. Then I typed in class schedule under templates, and I got so many choices here. So I can fill out my schedule for the week with whatever template looks cool to me at the time. So one more thing I noticed, I mean, there's so many in here in Adobe Express, explore quick actions. And I did notice something really neat in here. Generate a QR code. A lot of people wonder about that. You can just click that and put the URL where you want to go to. So maybe you want students to go somewhere for a class or for content. You just do that, generate a QR code. You can include that in your materials, and students can, when they're at home or something, they need to get to that information, they can just have the QR code. That's super handy. So we're in a whole new world here with Adobe applications, following along from others that have done a lot of generative AI, but now we have the video, we have templates, we have, you can do social media things, you can generate content for your classroom, you can generate things for your students. It's got a lot in there, and I think it's very inclusive. It's also very accessible, and I do love the guardrails in Adobe so that you generate content that can be used in education in the classroom. Please join us at www.eduvators.net for more information on how to use AI in the classroom, and we'll see you next time.